of the alcohol. La 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 la. Just line 'em up and we will drink them all. La 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 la. But my mother always said, if you want to drink all day, you best start in the morning, son, 'cause that's the Irish way. We don't get drunk, we get awesome, and every other mother will agree. We don't get drunk, we get awesome, so order up around for you and me. We don't get drunk, we get awesome, and every motherfucker must agree. We don't get drunk, we get awesome, so order up around for you and me, and you and me, and you and me. Let there be whiskey.
Go.
Hey, everybody, welcome once again to Nerds with Alcohol. I am Russ.
And I'm Chris.
And this is our 285th episode, 285 in the virtual nerd basement. Hope you're all having a wonderful, beautiful day. It was a beautiful day here in the Detroit area.
It was.
Nice.
Finally not a scorcher.
Not a scorcher. We had...
Hey, CD, Mondays are meant for drinking.
They are. This is a very this is an out of the ordinary day for us to do our show, but Chris has got something going on tomorrow night, so here we are on Monday, and
yep,
I'm cool with it. I'm down. Let's do it. It was San Diego Comic-Con over the weekend,
and holy shit,
we're gonna be talking about pretty much everything. We're gonna talk about everything that we can about it this show, because we just saw all the news that came out of there and just went, well, I guess we know what we're talking about.
Yeah, pretty much everything.
Absolutely. But before we get into that, how was your week, sir?
It was good. Had a good week. We played D&D on Friday, and
we did.
That
and it
was a blast.
Fantabulous.
You guys, we went just slightly long, a few minutes long, but you guys got to the big fight.
We did.
You found the big bad. And
the motherfucker got away again.
Well, yeah, you knew he was going to. Come on. You guys aren't ready to fight him yet. Although there were some big moments. There were some times where it looked bad for you guys.
It did. There were a couple.
And someone would pull something out, like Euchariah with his with the bad guy with a failed counter spell.
Right. And also with that darkness spell, and then we that got dispelled, thankfully.
Yep.
That was a big save.
Yeah, it was. That was huge.
Because it wasn't just a darkness spell. It was a darkness spell that then anybody still in the darkness at the end of their turn took a massive amount
at the beginning of their turn.
Damage. Or beginning of their turn.
Yeah.
Took a massive amount of psychic damage. So
yeah, because there were whispers and giggles and things inside the darkness.
Yeah, it was fucked up. So but we got that dispelled, and then again Euchariah coming through in the clutch with his bamfing attack.
Well, and Octavian going down from sleep.
Yeah.
From drow sleep poison.
Yeah, and then we wake him up by just popping him one in the face,
which did no damage because Halt has such a low strength that when he hits someone, it does with an open hand attack or an unarmed strike, it does 0 damage.
Yeah, it literally did 0 damage. It was really funny, but again, it ended up being really fantastic. We got it off in the end. And
wake up.
Yeah. Wake up. So, but again, I mean, great time, and just like kicked ass and took names. And,
yeah,
a lot of fun.
It was a really good night, and you guys got to do a lot. There was a couple fights, and that big one was huge for you guys.
Yeah. Yes, it was. And I don't remember. I'm blanking on how we ended the night. Pretty much we just ended it
right at the end of that fight. Yeah.
Yeah, because the fight came near the end of the night, and we were like, it's getting late. We needed to kind of wrap things up. And then, but yeah, it was a good game. It's a good game.
Yeah, lots of fun. Yeah, it's a nice day, so the windows are open in the house, and the dogs behind us are out barking. So our dogs decide every time they hear them, they react. So, but yeah, other than that, it was work. Didn't really do a whole lot else. I had my other game on Saturday. We actually cut that a little early because one, that's a lot of D&D for me. You know,
sure.
Two days in a row, running games both days, and so I realized that I can only do so much, and I was fading, and they hit a good spot to stop, and I'm like, I know this is early, guys, but I'm really sorry. We're gonna stop it here because this next part's a lot of role play, and I'm just not up for it right now.
Yeah. Well, it's draining. A lot of people don't realize like how draining that can be. How much energy you got to put forth and everything.
Well, especially when you're doing multiple characters and trying to do them as separate characters.
Yeah, keeping everything straight and all of the absolutely. One of my friends, I was performing at the Canterbury medieval fair over the weekend, and that went over very well. You might even still see some remnants of the makeup on my face because
your fingers
and my fingies. We're gonna see gathers. It was a really great weekend, and it was hotter than sin though. I mean, it was just like holy shit. There were times when I've always been able to pretty much do all right in the costumes. I've never really had too many times where I've had to like doff a layer or anything. And I didn't on Saturday. On Sunday, I chose to forego a layer before you even done, not even put it on. And it still, it didn't help a whole lot. But it was still like on Saturday, I felt like it started off extremely muggy, and then the humidity kind of later in the day, the humidity kind of got burned off, and it seemed like it, even though it got warmer, the humidity was better. So I was a little more comfortable. But then on Sunday, it was kind of like, muggy all damn day.
Sunday, it fucking stormed here in the morning.
Which day? Sunday?
Yeah.
Sunday, it did storm in the morning, but it didn't really rain. It drizzled a couple of times throughout the day up in Lake Orion, but it really wasn't bad.
That's the thing. It stormed here. It woke me up at 7 a.m. And with a big thunder boom, and I'm like, I have two dogs that are both quite unhappy with big booms.
Oh, for sure.
I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'm getting up now and going and comforting them. And sure enough, I got up, brushed my teeth, used the bathroom, went out, let Trevor out of his kennel, and he immediately is like, all right, we're going in the basement, right, Dad? Let's go.
Yeah, it was those storms were kind of nuts. I mean, it ended up, a lot of the people at Canterbury kind of started to wrap things up a little quicker because it looked like a storm was coming through, and it did rain a bit, but it wasn't bad. It didn't end up hitting as hard. So, but it was a really great time. I mean, it was decently attended, but it was not, it wasn't crazy packed. I think, it's definitely in a growing kind of like, we're in a building stage in this event. We're hoping that within the next couple of years, it'll really grow and get bigger. I mean, I remember I was talking to the guy that organized it, and he said that the dude that runs Canterbury was like, yeah, it was nice, it was good, but he goes, I took a loss, but he goes, I'm a grown up. He was like, okay. It's just that an event like this, any kind of festival of this type, similar to like haunted houses and other kinds of things like that, it takes time to build an audience. Yep. And once you build that audience, once the word gets out, then you start to see increases in attendance and in greater greater profits and that kind of thing. So we had a great joust show. Ross Trombauer did his first Joust show, and he did really well and got knighted by the Queen. And Oliver Oger was a big hit too, again. And people were really, hey, Auntie Dawn. You know what? Dawn showed up at the event with her, I think, nieces. Thanks for coming out again, Auntie. That was really great. Thank you. It was so much fun, man. It reminded me a lot of like my earlier days at Fair. And Wakefire performed, and they were great as usual. And we have this new duo called Ironwood that I picked up their CD. They were really great. And Rowan and Black Murray. There was some really great music. Cool. And yeah, Rick Rock and the Rogue Blades. I mean, it was just a lot of fun. So guys, if you guys next year, if you feel like coming out, man, Canterbury, the Canterbury Medieval Fair it's just a great time. And the nice thing about it is it's not, you don't necessarily have to spend all day there too. You know, like a lot of people feel like at Michigan Ren Fair, you spent the my niece who wouldn't talk to you, wouldn't shut up about you the rest of the weekend. That's funny. Yeah, she wouldn't. It was funny. I tried to get her to like talk to me, but she was being very shy. So,
so one of the things that happened this week as well, we passed 30,000 downloads.
Wow, that's fantastic. Yeah, you mentioned that we were getting close, but we actually did pass 30,000.
Yeah, we are past. I don't know what, great. I mean, this is still, this format, the live format is still, you know, we have people that show up and we love all of you, but we don't get a lot. Mm-hmm. But our downloads have actually gone up since April. I don't know what it was, but there's a sharp spike since April, and it's just been going up and up and up. We've got over 2,000 downloads this month. So.
Well, that's fantastic. That's really great. So now is the time to push the envelope, Chris.
Yeah,
we gotta get off our butts and get some more guests on.
Yeah, and everyone that's on here, CD, Auntie, Wings, Ghost Hand, all of them,
Dutch,
can all say they were here before it was cool.
We've never been cool, Chris.
No, we've always been cool, man.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, Stranger Things made D&D cool. No, D&D has always been cool. So write that down.
Yes, write that down. Write it down. Stranger Things just recognized it.
Yeah.
You know. Well, that's really great. It's really fantastic.
Yeah, we passed 30,000.
So, yeah. So it's a good week. It's just a lot of work, and I'm kind of exhausted still. There's still, I believe, right? We were cool before it was cool. That's right, Ghost. That's right. Fucking cool. That's the thing, man. I've always said that, man.
You did buy me my first mic.
He did. She did. That's right. Yeah. So you know, that's the thing, man. Nerdy stuff has always been fun. It's always been cool. Yep. It's just, you know, it was just that toxic toxic masculinity kind of bullshit culture that has dominated, that has made it harder on nerds.
Yep.
You know, so but fuck them. So welcome everybody. Thanks again, everybody, for all the support, and for those of you who are joining us, you know, thanks again, and welcome to the show, and we hope that you stick around and tell all your friends about us.
Yeah, and if you're downloading this, thanks. But come on out on a Tuesday night. I mean, we're on Monday this week, but I mean, on a normal Tuesday night,
a normal Tuesday night.
Yeah. Talk with us. Talk with all our friends in the chat. Everybody's really welcoming, and we would love to have you. Yeah,
it's a great time. So, what are you drinking, dude?
I am drinking a beer. Excuse me. That I think it was Pete brought this over a while back for one of our gaming sessions. It's by Duclaw Brewing out of Baltimore, Maryland. It is called Giva.
Giva.
Yeah, well, give a
shit.
shit. Yeah, okay. Give a shit.
Let's see it.
It says 1 in 24 also on the can. This is the overall lifetime risk of developing colorectal cancer for the U.S. adult. Tough news, we know, but the good news, we can change it. It is a fruited sour ale with blueberry, black currant, vanilla bean, and lactose. That's a whole lot. It is a whole lot. And it's 6.5% ABV. It pours like a fruit juice. It is it's very, very red in color, or really, I guess, kind of a burgundy or maroon. Oh, damn! I sneezed earlier and it like raked my throat. It has a very fruity aroma, which, based on what it says it is, it should be. Take a sip here, and it's not overly sour, considering they say it's a soured ale, a fruit sour ale. It actually tastes very much like a fruit juice. It's actually pretty damn good. If you don't want a beer, on a warm summer day, this would be pretty good. Just looking at what it says here on the can. Wow, we can really tell that you gave a crap by picking up this can. First, you'll enjoy the sweet sour ale with notes of blueberry and vanilla, which I do get that. And second, critical dollars will be donated to fight colon cancer. You're crushing it. Cancer and this beer, obvi. Brought to you by the Colon Cancer Foundation, Duclaw Brewing Company, and Squatty Potty. Oh crap, we ran out of space. Scan here for more. And it has a little scan spot. Which, of course, the place that Pete got this, they put their price tag and anti-steal sticker right over the QR code. So I can't actually scan it. But yeah, so this actually goes towards colorectal cancer.
Oh wow, that's research. Fantastic.
So that's cool.
Cool.
But yeah, it is a surprisingly light and refreshing, and burp-inducing ale. I like this a lot. I would say if you like fruity beers, fruity drinks, really, this would be a good one. Because honestly, this doesn't taste like a beer at all.
Okay.
I'll say I'd give this, for what it is, it's not really a sour, like they said, so I'm going to actually mark it down a little bit for that, but I'd say it's about a 3.75. Still really good.
Okay, cool. So I saw a couple of things that I was like, I saw something that kind of fascinated me. And I'm not going to try it yet, but I didn't get a chance to get it to do it. But I was watching the TikToks. I was checking out TikTok the other day, and I saw this thing where a guy took a Miller Lite and he mixed it with Mountain Dew, and apparently it makes it delicious. So
I don't know what's more disgusting there.
Right. They said you can use any light beer, and you just a 1-to-1 mixture of Mountain Dew and beer, and apparently it makes it delicious.
I couldn't do Miller because Miller gives me headaches no matter what I do.
Okay, but so I'm gonna probably try that. I was thinking I was gonna try that on the show sometime. And
you should, because I want to see the face that you make when you try that.
See, Stella said that in the Middle East, people drink beer mixed with Sprite all the time, and it's extremely popular. Personally, I'm like, it still sounds gross to me, but Mountain Dew really is a citrus drink. A lot of people don't realize it's a citrus-based drink.
Yeah, and
so it makes sense that it would probably be. It's apparently makes it much sweeter, of course. But I'm stunningly curious. I think I'm going to eventually try it.
I'll tell you, there was I had read about pickle beer, and
right.
I had friends who went to the Iowa State Fair, and they actually there was a brewery in Iowa that actually did a true pickle beer where they actually made it with pickle juice. And
we're not talking about a pickleback. We're talking
right. This is pickle beer. This is actually that. And And he was talking about it, and he's like, God damn if that wasn't good. He goes, I wanted to hate it. He goes, but it was fucking good. And it's the same thing with what I found out about pickle beer, which that's cool that you tried that, CD. It's basically you take a light beer or any American lager. You can even use, Renee and I used PBR when we did this. And you take a pickle spear, a fresh one right out of the jar, and drop it in your beer and let it sit in there for a couple of minutes and then drink the beer. It is fucking delicious.
Okay.
We drink beer with more beer.
Beer with more beer.
With distilled stuff such as rum and vodka. Yeah, I can see that. I'd be curious as to what the rum in Brazil's like.
For sure. I
want to have some real Caribbean rum too.
Oh, I've had some. I've tried that. Yeah, it's strong.
But I bet it's really fucking tasty.
It's different.
Yeah.
It's different from, like, you got Bacardi,
Well, see, I can't drink a lot of the American rums. The one that I can drink, it's Bumbu, is like the one rum that I can drink straight. I absolutely love it, which actually I'm out of it. I just finished it off. I need to get another bottle.
Well, there's definitely a difference between that clear rum and the dark Caribbean rum, that stuff. So, but
and
yeah,
Bumbu's a spice rum. It's a darker rum.
Yeah. So, but tonight I'm drinking something new from Blake's, another one of their summer like drinks here from the Kinder series, Kinder Cider series. This is the Passion Seeker, different from Rainbow Seeker. It is pineapple based, but this is pineapple, passion fruit, and guava. So instead of pineapple basil, that is the Rainbow Seeker. I think I prefer the Rainbow Seeker, but this is pretty solid. It's got a on the back notes, it's got that passion fruit and guava that you taste, and it's a little tart, and and pineapple is most of the time is naturally pretty sweet. It says, crafted with passion and purpose, this tropical cider is bursting with sweet pineapple, tart passion fruit, and juicy guava. From the pool to the beach, to your own backyard, where there's passion, Pack Seeker. So, like I said, pretty good. I do like it. I wouldn't mind. I'd probably buy it again. But I think I do like the Rainbow Seeker a little bit better.
I was gonna say, how's it compared to like the Tropicolata, which is also pineapple based?
Mm-hmm. I think I like the Tropicolata a little better. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it's good. It's still pretty good. So you guys want to check it out? I mean, Blake's does put out consistently good product. So, I haven't had too many over the years that I've been like, no. I mean, there's a few, like any of the coffee-based ones, I'm just like not interested in.
Yeah, coffee and cider just don't belong.
Just doesn't. No, not at all. And good milkshake. CD's drinking a milkshake malt porter tonight.
Yeah, but he said it's not as advertised and just plain.
But yeah, Blake's does turn out some pretty great products. So I'm always generally pretty supportive of them. But yeah, Passion Seeker pineapple, man. Check it out.
Cool.
If you're about it. Yeah.
And give a shit.
They give a shit. Unbelievable. They'll do anything to sell beer these days. I'll tell you.
Hey,
I goddamn guarantee it.
Hey, it goes to a good cause too. They're raising money.
It does, which is that's really what was it? Was it colon cancer?
Colon cancer. Yep.
Hey man,
which is a huge killer of people in the U.S.
Yeah,
particularly men, because we don't go to the doctor.
Right, and we eat like shit. So, so we should move in to the news.
Yeah, before we get into the San Diego Comic-Con stuff, one of the things I wanted to bring up was the James Webb Telescope.
Yeah.
Holy shit, the images that are coming out of that.
It's pretty impressive. Pretty wild.
That's true. That's why we lost Chadwick Boseman. Colon cancer.
You're right. Colon cancer. Mm-hmm.
See? So I'm doing a good thing.
So get your butt checked.
Yes. I actually had my first screening last year.
I got to get my first one. I'm behind. They're recommending now at 45.
Mm-hmm.
I'm 48 and I haven't had mine yet. So my doctor was like, you have to get your colonoscopy. I'm like,
well, I didn't have to do the colonoscopy. I got the like poop in a bucket thing and send it in.
Right. The Cologuard thing.
Yeah. Because there's no history of it in my family and I'm not at high risk. So
the poop in a bucket test.
Yep.
Wow.
So anyway, the Webb telescope is, the images it's giving are spectacular, and the fact that it can see through the gases up there and all that and see things that are behind it, I think is just amazing. But they just announced that the first actual discovery from it has already come out, and there is a group of astrophysicists who have spotted one of the things that is in this, and they have dated this particular galaxy that they see. It's a red spot. And I guess one of the things is that they say is that the farther away something is, the more red, it's the red shift, they call it.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And so the redder it is and the, I guess, more warped it winds up being. Well, they have actually dated this to 13.5 billion years ago.
Wow. Wow. Holy shit, man.
It is the oldest thing ever to be seen by a telescope. And at that age, it's only about 300 million years after the Big Bang.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
Just conceptually, that's incredible.
Yeah, it is. I mean, in the span of time, I mean, 300 million years sounds like a long time, but in like the galactic time span, that's like 3 seconds away from when the Big Bang happened.
Oh, for sure.
And that's the thing. We're seeing this galaxy as it was 13.5 billion years ago.
Right, because of the way time is and
and light and everything like that.
Light
it's like
and everything, yeah.
And so they said that it's kind of unimpressive in that it's only about a billion stars or something like that in this galaxy, and it's only like 1,000 light years across. But that's what it would have looked like 13.5 billion years ago, and it has, after that, it would have joined with other galaxies and things like that throughout its area of the universe, and actually created a much larger area. So we have no idea what it would look like today because we can't see it yet.
Right. It's just mind-boggling though when you talk about numbers like that.
Well, and the thing is that technically, and that's the thing, we're looking into the past with this telescope.
Right.
It's wild to think about it that way. That's what it is. We're actually looking into the past. We're looking at what galaxies and stars looked like thousands to millions to billions of years ago.
And yet there are still people out there that think that the ground, that the Earth is flat, and that we are the only life in the universe.
And that the Earth was only created 6,000 years.
6,000 years ago, yeah. Wow. They are stupid. Timey-wimey, exactly. It's timey-wimey.
Timey-wimey, yep.
Let's see.
But anyway, I wanted to bring that up before we got into all the other stuff.
I was also going to bring up, we had a couple of celebrity deaths today and or yesterday. Paul Sorvino, the father of Mira Sorvino, passed away in his early 80s.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah, he was, it was in a lot of things. He's actually was in, he was also known for having a particularly beautiful singing voice. He was in Repo, the Genetic Opera.
Yep.
Seeing him in that. That's the only thing I can think of off the top of my head right now.
He was in a lot back in the day.
Right, yeah, he was in things a lot more, but more in the 80s, 70s, 80s, 90s.
Goodfellas.
Yes, he was in Goodfellas.
He was in the new Romeo and Juliet.
Oh yeah, that's right, he was, wasn't he? So yeah, he passed on, and I was like, oh, well, that's a it's a shame.
He was in
but
The
it's also,
Stuff. in 1985.
Oh man, he was in The Stuff. Holy shit.
He's
Hang on.
in The Rocketeer, The Cooler.
Oh yeah, I think
Star Trek Next Gen. Dick Tracy.
Yeah, he was in episodes of Next Gen. Yeah,
yep.
He was. You know, who he played. I think he played Worf's brother. Worf's Russian human adoptive brother.
Oh, yeah. He was in Dick Tracy. He was in Oh God.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, he's in a bunch of things, a bunch of other stuff too. But yeah, Mr. 3000.
Let's see. Hang on, I'm just kind of sending Stella a text real quick. Also, who also passed away, and it's a little more of a I don't know. I'd say about a similar kind of level of actor. But the actor David Warner passed away. And David Warner was one of those actors that everybody knew or saw him in something. And but you were never like, who is that guy? You know? He was a British actor. He was in tons of stuff. He was known for playing a lot of villains, and he was known for having a very distinctive voice. One of the things he was probably more known for was he was the villain in Tron.
Yep, I was just gonna say he was in Tron.
He was in Tron. Let's see, I've got him pulled up here. The War of the Roses, did a lot of television in the 60s.
Omen, Time Bandits.
The Omen, yep, Time Bandits. He was the darkness, and he was basically the devil in Time Bandits.
Star Trek 4, The Voyage Home.
He was in The Voyage Home. He was also in The Undiscovered Country. Because he played Klingons several times. Yeah, The Omen in 1976.
The Man with Two Brains.
Which was a Steve Martin.
Oh, Cast a Deadly Spell.
Yes, he was in Cast a Deadly Spell. That was a really cool fucking made for HBO.
It was one of the very first made for HBO movies.
Yep. With and the guy who Ed was it Edward?
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
The guy that was
Fred
in
Ward.
Tremors.
Fred Ward.
No? Yes?
Fred Ward. Yes, Fred.
Okay. He was in they were both in that together.
Yep.
You know? Let's see.
Mary Poppins Returns.
He played he was in Frankenstein. He played the creature in a Frankenstein TV movie. Fairy Tale Theaters.
Did a lot of like B horror movies, it looks like, too.
Yeah, I mean, he was all over the place. Waxwork.
Oh, he was in Beastmaster.
He was in Beastmaster? What did he play in Beastmaster? I missed it. What year was Beastmaster anyway?
Beastmaster was 82. I don't see him. He's not a main character. Rip Torn was in that.
Yeah, Rip Torn is the villain in Beastmaster. Let's see. Hold of Desperado, Cross the Waxwork, Hansel and Gretel.
He was Lord Aegon.
He might have been the king. He might have been. Star Trek V: The Final Frontier.
I didn't know James Avery was in that.
James Avery, yeah.
Tony Todd.
What, in Beastmaster?
Yeah.
Star Trek, see, that's the interesting thing. He was in Star Trek V: The Final Frontier as Sergeant John Talbot as a human, and then he was in Star Trek VI: The Undiscovered Country as Chancellor Gorkon, the Klingon, Chancellor, High Chancellor. The guy had a very storied career. And one of the things, he was in another part of Star Trek. He was known as a Star Trek actor. Twin Peaks. He was in the secret TMNT 2, The Secret of the Ooze, Cast a Deadly Spell. Let's see. Yep. Star Trek 6, Captain Planet and the Planeteers, Tales from the Crypt. Star Trek: The Next Generation, Gul Madred. He was in two of the most famous episodes from Star Trek: The Next Generation. I think it was the season 6. I think it was. He was in Chain of Command, Part 1 and Part 2. He played Gul Madred. And for those of you who may not remember exactly what Chain of Command, what episodes those were, they were 2-parters. But I can sum it up for you with one statement. There are 4 lights.
Yeah.
He was the torturer. He was the psychological, the Cardassian that tortured Captain Picard. And
he was in Time After Time too, filmed right here in Michigan.
Yep. I mean, the guy has got this huge, like just a massive career.
Titanic, the boat sank.
He was in.
Spoiler.
Definitely. He played Jor-El in Lois and Clark: The New Adventures of Superman. Babylon 5. I mean, the dude it's almost like he just accepted every role they threw at him. He did a lot of, it looks like in his later career too. He started getting into more voiceover work.
Actually, he was in SOS Titanic in 1979 and then in Titanic in 1997.
Yeah. He was the voice of Ra's al Ghul on the animated series, on Batman the Animated Series.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So Gargoyles, he was a character in Gargoyles. Beastmaster 3, Lord Aegon. That's what it was. He was in Beastmaster 3. Oh, I thought you said Beastmaster.
Oh no, he was in Beastmaster. That's what it said. He's in the Beastmaster as Lord Aegon.
He says Beastmaster 3, The Eye of Braxis. It was,
and if you look up the Beastmaster in 1982, he's listed in the credit in the cast for that as Lord Aegon.
Huh. All right. Well, either way, I just do not. I've seen Beastmaster like a million times. I just do not remember him.
I've seen it that many times too, but it's been a long time.
It has been. It's been too long. I need to watch it again. He played the Red Skull in Spider-Man.
It's on Netflix.
What?
Beastmaster.
Oh, is it? Oh, god damn it.
It's distributed by Netflix, Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer.
Oh, man. Scream 2. This guy, it's just amazing to me. Toon Sylvania. The Outer Limits, Sugar, just Superman.
Watch it drunk or high at least. I like that. I like that idea, CD.
For sure.
It's a horrible movie, but it was one of my favorites as a kid.
Beastmaster wasn't a horrible movie. It was one of the better ones of its type, of those barbarian movies from the 80s.
It's a cheesy sci-fi fantasy movie. Sure, from the early 80s.
There's some cheese involved, but
there's a lot of cheese. Come on. He's got fucking ferrets that go steal shit.
Yeah. Kodo and Podo, man.
Yeah, Kodo and Podo. Yep.
It was also that movie actually changed the way they basically changed the way they do things with animals a lot, because in that movie they dyed that tiger black.
Yeah.
And for that movie, because tigers don't come in that color. And so they changed. They don't do that kind of stuff anymore, apparently.
Yeah, I actually had a couple ferrets, CD, and I actually didn't name either of them from that movie, and I should have.
What is the matter with you?
I had Polly the Weasel, and I named him after Pauly Shore, and the other one was he was a pure white. He was actually an albino ferret, so I named him Powder.
Alrighty. Jesus. So anyway, yeah, this guy did a lot, man. So I mean, we get to raise our drinks to an icon of science fiction, an icon of it wasn't Mary Poppins Returns, an icon of genre television. In all honesty, we have the late great David Warner, and of course also Paul Sorvino.
Yep.
So now on to lighter things.
Yeah, let's start talking San Diego Comic-Con.
San Diego Comic-Con. The first thing I think we need to address, and the first thing that kind of was the first big announcement that was made, Thursday night, the trailer for the new Dungeons and Dragons video or movie, Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves dropped.
Yeah.
And I watched this and I felt a feeling of joy well up into my chest and reach down into my cockles area and warmed me. I was warmed in my cockles.
Why are you talking so funny?
I don't know. It's all for dramatic effect. I was so happy after I got done seeing this trailer. I texted you immediately, dude. No, I believe it was fuck in all capital letters. Yep. And then it was dude.
Yeah.
And then I sent you the link to the trailer.
Yeah.
And it's next level, man.
Okay, so let's talk about what we see. So in it, we get a feel for the movie, which has much more of the feel, I think, of Dungeons and Dragons. It's definitely set in Forgotten Realms. There are distinct characters from Forgotten Realms in there, including the fat red dragon, whose name I don't know. I just know that
the first dragon you see in it is
a black dragon.
Black dragon.
Yeah,
shooting, breathing acid.
Yeah, which looks badass.
Yeah. I'm like, oh my god.
But you also see like either a Wizard of Thay or it's Zaz Tam himself. Although them fighting Zaz Tam, I think, would be a little bit much to start off with right there. Yes, the owlbear, them jumping into the druid basically turning herself. Actually, I think it's more polymorph than
wild shifted, or
I think it's polymorph actually into an owlbear.
Right.
And
because that's the thing, the internet immediately went, you can't wild shift into an owlbear.
Yeah.
No, and which I believe you actually can, but you got to be really, really, really
I don't think you can.
level, don't you?
You have to. It can only be regular animals.
Okay.
They have to be in the like animal charts.
Okay. So Marbly a polymorph spell then.
Yeah, but then we see them diving into a gelatinous cube to avoid another dragon.
Right. We see a displacer beast at one point. We see a mimic.
Yep. The mimic was hilarious.
Yeah. Because it was a stereotypical chest.
Yes.
Treasure chest. But I was like, that's a mimic!
And then them talking, and it's like, what are we gonna do next? And Chris Pine's like, discuss it over a drink. Yeah, that sounds like a good plan. And they head off, and I'm like, what do you do? Let's go to the pub. Let's go to the tavern.
I like that Chris Pine is in this movie. I like that it's not. It seemed to me, I'll bet you he took this movie because he kind of went, this is a paycheck for me. But
here's the other thing. The main character's a fucking bard.
Not a warrior, not a fighter, not a mage, not a paladin, not even a rogue, like a fucking a rogue, a roguish, he is a roguish character, of course, but he's a fucking bard. What the fuck?
And yes, they held that to the end, CD, because the whole conversation there with what do you do? I make plans. It's like, he's like, I gotta have backup plans. Oh, so you make plans that don't work? No. He also plays the lute. That's irrelevant. And then they show him playing the lute and dancing.
And doing a little dance. You got Michelle Rodriguez playing what looked like probably a barbarian or some kind of fighter class, what I'd say a barbarian. We've got a paladin in there. We've got a mage, a magic user of some kind.
A sorcerer druid.
That's the other thing too. Like people are like, I pointed out that she's actually a tiefling, because at first I thought maybe she was an elf, but that's wearing a horned headpiece. But it's looking more and more like she's
also got a tail.
Right, and then it was pointed out too that she also has a tail that is not immediately evident.
Yeah.
So cool.
So she's a tiefling that's not colored. They don't make her a different color.
They didn't make her blue or red or,
right.
or purple, right? So, I think that's what's throwing people off. So, but still, man, I'm all about it, dude. I think they finally actually nailed it. I don't want to jump the gun too much, but just from the initial trailers has got me going, all right, yeah, this looks fucking fun. And I'm also I'm not like expecting Shakespeare, I'm really not, they have said that they are hoping that this movie can spawn a series of films, basically a Dungeons and Dragons averse, a D&D cinematic universe. I'm like all about it. Let's do it. Bring it on. Come on, baby. And if they do, and if they're good, hey man, let's do it. The market has shown that fantasy movies can be successful. I mean, absolutely they can be.
Mm-hmm.
And they just have to be good.
Yep.
You have to make them good. They can't be these cheap ass, low budget films anymore, man. People want Lord of the Rings. They want Game of Thrones. They want The Wheel of Time. It's you have to spend some money.
Which, speaking of, on Friday we got the trailer for Rings of Power.
Yes.
Which looks badass as fuck as well.
Right. Exactly.
I'm looking forward to that. That comes in, what is it, September?
Yeah, coming up right soon.
There's so much that's coming up so soon. Because and then you mentioned Wheel of Time. That's another announcement that came out this weekend as well. They're giving it a third season before the second season even comes out.
Say that again.
Wheel of Time has already been announced to have a third season. That came out this weekend. That they're giving it a third season, and the second season hasn't even come out yet.
I haven't even watched the first one yet, but yeah, I've heard it's pretty solid. It
was. I think they did a decent job with the book. They kind of did a couple of things I thought they could have done a little bit better, but the Trollocs, I think they nailed them. The bad guys, like the orcs from that world. I think they did a good job of making them very horrifying and dangerous. The whites are absolutely horrifying. But yeah, I thought they did a good job with it overall. A little rushed in places, but I mean, it's a 1,000-page book in 8 episodes.
Right. Yeah, that's a lot. So see, that's the thing. And if you're gonna take a book and change it and make it into a movie or TV show or stuff, you got to give it the time, man. You can't. You're squeezing it down into. That's why I really prefer books and book series being made into TV shows as opposed to movies.
Mm-hmm.
I think
and that's before. The thing. I think they did what they could, but even 8 hours wasn't enough to tell that first book's story.
Sure.
Because it is 1,000 pages.
Yeah. Well, like I've been talking about. I've always talked about that. I think that the Harry Potter series would make the Harry Potter books would make a great series of TV shows, and each season, each book could carry a season.
I think they did a good job with the movies, though, with those.
They did it all right, but I think they're anybody who's read those books, anybody who's a fan of those books will tell you that there was a lot of stuff edited out, particularly the later books that got a lot thicker.
I agree.
That's digressing.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah. So those announcements also came up. But Rings of Power looks fantastic. I honestly am very much looking forward to that. One of the other things we got was an extended trailer for House of the Dragon on HBO, which comes out end of next month. We're about a month away from that.
Yeah.
Which I don't think I realized. I knew that it was coming and all this, but I hadn't been paying a whole lot of attention to it. And there's a couple of things I want to talk about on that. So one, I didn't know Matt Smith was in it.
Right.
And I saw him there, and I saw the giant forehead and the Easter Island head that he has. And I was like, hey, I know that face. Normally doesn't have a giant white wig on him.
Right.
But yeah, he's Daemon Targaryen in it. And so I watched that. I'm like, yes, I will watch it. Just because I am a fan of that series, I will check it out and see what it is. The one thing I want to bring up, though, is I looked at IMDb, and either they're lying on IMDb or this is not an actual Game of Thrones show, because every single person in the main cast page says that they're in it for 10 episodes.
They're lying. They are lying.
I'm like, there is no fucking way, if this is if this is a Game of Thrones show, that every single person on this, all like 20 people listed here, are going to be in all 10 episodes. Fuck that.
Yeah.
And yes, he does have a big ass head. Renee put it, he's like, he belongs on Easter Island with the rest of his family.
No, that's terrible and true.
I'm not a Matt Smith fan. I don't think he was a great Doctor Who. But mostly it's also because I think that the way the show changed at that time, and I've said this before, it became about the companions more than the Doctor, and I just didn't care for it.
I once again am not a Doctor Whovian. I mean, I've never been a Whovian, so I just kind of like, I mean, I take each Doctor for what they are.
Yeah, well, and I think it would be it's really tough. It would have been tough for anyone to follow David Tennant for me, because he was so fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that was part of it that tainted it. But I mean, I'll watch it. I'm still going to watch this show. I'm not crazy about him. I think he's okay, but I don't think he's fantastic as an actor. I think he is odd looking, and I think I'll see how he does in this, but seeing him in a sword and sorcery type role is kind of odd for me too. So, but yeah, I will definitely check that out. But yeah, again, really 10 episodes for everybody in the cast? I don't think so, HBO. I think you're lying to us. Actually, speaking of that just made me think of the whole character I used to know, which was my very first introduction to Ginny D.
There's a character I used to know, yeah.
Yeah, it was her.
I remember
her and her friend did that song, a character I used to know about watching
Right.
Game of Thrones. And
right. Yeah. I remember that too. Yeah.
And they wound up setting up a shrine to they're watching it and they're just bawling, and they're setting up shrines and putting up pictures and burning candles for every character that dies in the show.
God damn.
Talking about I thought Ned Stark was safe because he's on the poster.
Right. No. Not safe at all.
So we got a lot of other things too. We can run through some of the let's run through the trailers, and then we can get into the big announcements, particularly for the MCU.
Yes,
because the MCU had some huge announcements. So one of the trailers that they had particularly for the MCU is the last movie in Phase 4.
Correct.
Is Black Panther Wakanda Forever.
Mm-hmm. And I got to tell you, man, from what it looks like to me, it just looks absolutely spectacular. I mean, Ryan Coogler had a tough job, man. His star and a beloved actor, beloved character died, and he was tasked with continuing the legacy without recasting this character.
Yep.
So instead, he had to, write and direct a film featuring almost all the actors, and still again without that guy.
And the thing is that from what I saw in there, it looks like we're going to see a lot with like his funeral.
Right.
And him, so I think that's going to be very, very emotional at the beginning, because I think that's where it's going to start, is with him getting killed. And
right, we see Angela Bassett has become the queen. She's taken over, who was his mother, and she has accepted the throne and has been the queen, because maybe just because maybe his sister, they deemed his sister wasn't quite ready to take the throne yet.
Or sure, he may not have wanted it. He wasn't exactly the ruler type.
True, but she's still a princess of a sovereign nation. So, I mean, they may have been like, no, guess what? So we'll see how that pans out. But one of the cool things that we've also seen, they were teased, they teased it and talked about it, that Namor the Submariner would be a major character in this film. In the comics, it was established that Wakanda and Atlantis had become enemies, and had actually, through something that Namor did, like pretty much just like fucking did to Wakanda. He basically flooded Wakanda using the power of the Phoenix. It was back when, I believe it was back when Namor briefly had a portion of the power of the Phoenix Force, and they got into a tiff with Wakanda, and he flooded the fucking nation. And so that created a great deal of enmity between T'Challa and Namor. So including him in this movie is a really cool fucking thing. I really think this is going to be.
Well, they show Atlanteans like riding on a whale and stuff
riding
like that.
Riding on whales and stuff. Now, the interesting thing is too, like what John and I were talking about this earlier, is that they've cast now normally Namor has always been kind of a white guy, kind of the same way Aquaman was a white guy. And although Namor does have like pointed ears and he's got dark hair, he did always have kind of elfin features.
Yeah,
he's still kind of a white guy. And they
wings on his heels.
Yes, the wings on his heels. They've cast I believe an actor of Hispanic descent, and to play Namor, and I'm all about it. I think this is going to be really cool. And they've also, it looks like, and I've never seen this before, that the design element of the Atlantean people, their clothing styles, their architecture and whatnot, all have a very distinctly almost Aztec or Mayan kind of flavor. Like it's almost like a South American kind of look to it, a native South American look to it. So I think this looks really cool. I think that's a really cool take on the character, and I'm super excited. I think this is going to be really badass. They this once again, they have said that this is the end that will be the end of Phase 4. Of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and then in February, Phase 5 kicks off. I think it's February. We'll look at the dates in a few minutes. Phase 5 here. Kicks off with Ant-Man and Wasp.
But we'll get into Phase 5 later, because they didn't actually have any actual like trailers for Phase 5, but because they're too far out. But we also had the trailer for John Wick 4, which I haven't watched yet. I haven't seen the movie.
It was a teaser too.
It was a teaser.
I did watch it, but it's a real short
we had the trailer for She-Hulk, the extended trailer for She-Hulk.
Now this made me even happier. I liked the first trailer. I thought it was cool. I thought it was, it's cool. This one, I think, really shows even more about the tone of the film, how it's going to be
the show.
The show. Thank you. The tone of the show. It's going to be a much more lighthearted kind of take, a little bit more, one of the more comedic shows of the Marvel Cinematic television shows. And man, it's just more about her interaction and with Bruce, about how she's really kind of doing really well in her training and stuff like that, and then more about her role as a lawyer too, and what the law firm she's working for really wants her to kind of be the face of and whatnot. So I think we're also going to see an expansion of the lore itself. We're going to see an expansion of the universe in She-Hulk.
Yeah, and
like the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
So one of my issues is it looks too cartoony to me. A lot of the scenes that she was in looked like she was just drawn as a cartoon. And it looked very CGI. There wasn't a lot of realism with it. And granted, I mean, I'm still talking about a 7 foot tall green woman, but
6'7", but yeah.
But still. So, but I mean, overall, I agree with you. It looks like it's going to be very entertaining. I think it's going to be funny. The whole thing with Bruce waking her up.
That cracked me up.
With the air horn and her turning into She-Hulk and breaking the bed and
yeah. I like the part where she's in the courtroom and Titana comes through the door, through the wall essentially.
Yeah.
And they're like, she's like, do your She-Hulk thing. And she's like, she really loved this outfit,
you
know, or I really like this outfit, and like, or just some of this stuff like Bruce is like, who's your best friend? Oh, Nikki. She's my best. Like, wrong. Spandex
is your best friend.
It seemed very like, I like how she addressed that she broke the fourth wall at a point.
And both of them look and it's like
and they both kind of, who was I talking to?
And both of them look over at the camera and they're like, and they get this confused look like, what was that? And then go back to.
So I guess Feige has teased that there's more to that. It's more than just her breaking the fourth wall, that there's going to be something that I don't know. I mean, that's the thing. A lot of people don't realize that She-Hulk did it before Deadpool did. She-Hulk, in her comic book that started in the mid 80s, mid or to late 80s, she regularly broke the fourth wall and spoke to the reader. And it was, her comic was in continuity, but it was also kind of meta and kind of silly and weird at times. It depended on who was writing it at the time, but John Byrne wrote and drew that comic for quite a while, and he made it very kind of tongue-in-cheek. There were some very silly things that went on in her comic book, but the funny thing is, it only happened in her comic. You never saw her breaking the fourth wall when she was in Fantastic Four or the Avengers or any other book, but in her comic, she did often. So I think that's a really great kind of nod to that as well. I'm excited, man. We got like 2 weeks until that show starts, and I'm really, is it 3?
Yeah. August 17th.
Doesn't matter. I'm still excited. Give me the Jade Giantess, man. I wanna see.
That'll be one of the next one we talk about, and then that's gonna overlap with Andor at the end of the month, which
correct.
There was a preview for that as well, but I saw some of that stuff, and I saw a picture online. This kind of off topic, but I watched the trailer for Andor. It looks good. But one of the things that I saw in the clip at the beginning that they don't show in the preview is the Empire with a laser guillotine.
A what?
A laser guillotine.
A laser guillotine?
They show someone in like a pilot's outfit strapped to a table, and there's two stormtroopers standing there, and above him is basically a laser beam going across what is obviously a guillotine that will drop. And
all right, that's some dark shit, man. All right, awesome.
CD Andor is it's a new Star Wars series based on the Rogue One character that dies at the end of Rogue One. So this is pre-Rogue One, exactly. as the rebellion's just starting.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see what else.
So we also got a preview of the new show, Interview with a Vampire.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think it could be good. They're changing the the races of a couple of the characters.
You mean okay?
Yeah.
Racial shift.
Racial shift. Okay. I don't know that that's going to be a problem.
Nah.
But I mean, overall though, the story, the way that it looks good.
I think I've seen some shots from it, and it does look like it's very pretty.
Yeah, very pretty. Costuming wise, I think it's going to be fantastic. I think it's going to be amazing to watch. Sure. I'll give it a shot. It's on AMC, so I don't know. I'll have to figure out how to watch it because I have live TV now through Hulu, but I'll have to figure out how I can actually watch that. I may have to set it up on my DVR. But yeah, that looks pretty good. So then we also got a couple of things from DC. We got a new Black Adam trailer.
Yes, it looks amazing.
And we're only a few weeks away from that.
No, October.
Is it October? I thought it was before then.
Yeah, October like 17th or 27th or something like that. But they are pushing.
Yeah, October 21st. You're right.
21st. They are pushing it. There's like it's already being there. The ads are showing up in the comic books. They've got companion comics that are coming out now to kind of tie in with that continuity. Their version of Hawkman, their version of Dr. Fate, that kind of thing. They're doing comics tying into it.
Yeah. My concern is they're pushing it too much.
That is a bit of a concern as well, but it's still a movie's featuring Dwayne Johnson, and he doesn't do movies that fail anymore. I mean, the only movies, the guy Prince.
There's a difference between a movie that fails and a movie that's not good.
True.
You can have a bad movie that doesn't fail because everyone will go see it because he's in it, but it doesn't necessarily make it a good film.
Correct.
Or a good adaptation of that character.
I still feel like, I think he's also an executive producer on this movie too. From what it looks like to me, though, I think it's still going to be a pretty solid action film. I think it's going to be one of the ones that DC is going to be pretty proud of.
And in that same vein, we got a new trailer for Shazam: Wrath of the God or Fury of the Gods. Man.
Before, you know what? I wanted to address this. I forgot. I just reminded of this before we get right into that. I just wanted to talk about real quick. I forgot to mention this about She-Hulk, about some of we saw a lot of the guest stars that are going to be showing up.
Yeah.
In this thing too, we have
Tim Abomination Roth, is like her first
case. She's representing him. So we're seeing besides Mark Ruffalo as Bruce, we also do see Tim Roth coming back as Emo Blonsky, the Abomination. We have, of course, Jamila Jamil, who is Titania. I think it's actually Titania. The supervillain who fresh from his fight with Wanda Maximoff and Doctor Strange in Multiverse of Madness, we see Wong, played by Benedict Wong. Mm-hmm. He's in it. And Charlie Cox's Daredevil.
Oh yeah, I meant to mention that.
Does show up at the near the end of the trailer.
You don't see him. You see his batons and the outfit, and that's all you see, and they cut away.
So a lot of those stuff is just like unbelievable.
Charlie Cox will also be playing Daredevil in Spider-Man 97.
Correct, and they did not to.
They'll be voicing the character.
Right, but not to. No, it's freshman year.
Freshman year, that's right.
That's freshman year. Because it's X-Men 97.
X-Men 97, yeah, and freshman year.
But also, and not to derail it, but they did also announce that there will be the name of the new Daredevil television show that's going to be.
No, don't get to that. We haven't gotten to that yet.
I know, we're not getting into it, but I just wanted to say.
Dude, you're
he's in there.
Spoilers, motherfucker. That's in the show later.
Oh my God. You get on me about a spoiler like that. That's not a spoiler. I'm talking about it in 20 minutes. All right. Anyway, you were saying about Wrath of the Gods.
I don't know, because now you just derailed me.
The new Shazam movie does look like it's going to be super cute.
It looks like it's going to be like the other one. I mean, it looks to be like there's going to be a lot of humor. Him talking with what looks like a shrink about, there's already, I feel like a fraud. There's already a guy that runs really fast with the lightning, even has with a red suit, and a lightning bolt on his chest, and and Aquaman is just so masculine and
it was really funny.
And Batman is the Batman. He's just so cool and all. He's like, and then the next thing you know, it's like, I'm a pediatrician, right?
Right.
And
yeah.
Emotions over like all the toys over the side.
CD, you're right. Dwayne Johnson, probably the last movie he did that probably was considered kind of cruddy was Skyscraper. I didn't see it because it honestly didn't even interest me at all. But you're right. I mean, he does. There has been a few, but still, the most of his movies he's done in the last.
I haven't seen Rampage either.
So. Rampage wasn't great, but it was still one of those, like, it was fun. It was all right, but it wasn't. I don't know. I mean, what was the last one I think I saw that he was in that was really, like Jumanji, like the Jumanji movies. Those
are fun.
Mm-hmm.
Was it Red Notice? That was
Red Notice. Good.
That was actually that was good, but it was only a movie created specifically to get those three actors together.
Correct.
Because they knew people would watch it. You put Dwayne Johnson, Ryan Reynolds, and Gal Gadot in a movie, people are going to fucking watch it.
Correct. And and people are saying really good things about the Super Pets movie that he's got coming up that he's press on right now with him and Kevin Hart. So I think honestly that looks pretty funny. I probably won't see it at the theater, but I'll definitely watch it and may even end up buying it. So we'll have to see what happens when it comes to HBO Max.
Karen Gillan was in Jumanji.
Yes,
she was very good in that. Actually, everybody in that was fantastic, I thought.
Oh yeah, I mean, both of them were great.
Kevin Hart in that. Cake. My weakness is cake.
Cake. Yeah. I'm sorry, man. And the thing about it is too, Kevin Hart and Dwayne Johnson together, they just make a great fucking team.
Yeah,
they really do. The one movie they did together where Johnson plays a CIA operative that really looked up to Kevin Hart's character when they were teenagers.
I haven't seen that one.
I can't remember. I have it. It's really funny. Not Shakespeare or anything. It's not fucking Citizen Kane, but it's funny. It's an entertaining film.
If you want to see something that's pretty funny too, is look up when the two of them were on the Graham Norton show together.
Yes, you'll laugh your ass off.
Yeah.
I've seen that. Have you seen too? They did some TikToks and shit where it was actually part of the promotional shit that they were doing during the promotional shit for Super Pets. They played the tortilla slap challenge. Have you seen that?
No.
You haven't seen this shit? You gotta get a TikTok, man.
I don't have to get on TikTok.
Yeah, you do.
I do not have to be on TikTok, man.
There's some funny shit. Dude.
No, the only TikToks I watch are the D&D ones that Bob sends me and the stuff that Renee shows me every once in a while.
All right. So what the tortilla slap thing is that it's a game where you take a mouthful of water and then you play rock, paper, scissors, and whoever loses, the other guy slaps them in the face with the tortilla. And it makes a pretty good noise, and it actually can, depending on how you do it, can sting a little bit. But it's just so fucking hilarious that whoever
I agree, CD's so dumb.
It's dumb as shit. I'm not gonna debate that at all. But whoever, if you can't keep your mouth, if you do a spit take, if you spit the water out, then you lose. And
so Russ, are you saying that we have to get on TikTok and we got to do like a tortilla challenge against each other?
Yeah, probably. We have to do that at some point. But it's really funny because they've got like water in their mouth, and you can tell them, and it's just like The Rock loses. Dwayne loses the rock paper scissors twice, and Kevin Hart just starts jumping around. He's like, "Yeah, I get to hit him in the face," and he just, And he just really like, you can see him and just, Dwayne just like took him aback a little bit, They start laughing and then you can't help but just like crack up. It's really fucking funny.
All right. Well, back to Shazam.
Shazam.
Yeah.
We got Helen Mirren,
Lucy Liu.
Yeah.
The entire cast of kids and mom and dad. Like they show mom and dad and all the kids are leaving. They're like, "Where are y'all off to?" And the one little girl is like, "Fight crime."
Yeah.
And they're just like, "Okay."
Yeah, and there's some like some really funny kind of moments. Like it looks like at one point, Shazam and the villainess are
and Helen Mirren having lunch.
Mirren sitting there, just talking, having lunch, and which I love that. I love that idea, like because that happens sometimes in like comics or in the movies or whatever, where the villain and the hero just like they meet up and they just
talk it out.
They're gonna talk it out. They're gonna have this is gonna happen. If you don't do this, this is going to happen. Oh yeah. Well, if that doesn't, then this is going to happen. All right. Well, we'll see you at 3:00 then, or whatever. And
behind the gymnasium at 3:00.
Yeah. Yeah. And, and he makes some sort of joke. It's like, it's all about family. And then,
he says, I'm not as old as you.
Yeah. I'm not ancient.
He goes, but I have seen all the Fast and Furious movies. And you know what I learned? It's all about family. And they both are looking around. He's like, family.
Guys, that was your cue.
That was your cue.
I think that's the thing too, that Zachary Levi's a really kind of funny guy. And it sounds to me like he probably has done a lot of, maybe that some of that is him in there too,
I threw a car at a dragon. I love my life.
I think he does a really great job depicting a guy who is a teenager in all actuality. He's a grown man in a teenager in a grown man's body, and he's doing a real good job depicting that.
Yep.
He's not super confident. He's scary. He's scared about it and everything, but he's got all this power.
Yep.
I think it's really fucking cool, and I really cannot wait for him to cross over with Dwayne Johnson and The Rock and the crossover into another movie with Black Adam.
Yeah,
I think that's going to be really cool.
Well, in Black Adam, he even says, "I'm not a hero."
Right, and they say you can be the destroyer of this world, or you can be its savior.
Yeah,
and I'm like, I'm loving it. I think this is going to be really cool to see this character depicted. Seeing this kind of, he's very much an anti-hero these days, Black Adam. Instead of being a villain, he's become.
He flies by that one plane and just takes out his wing. Just
nothing like then they eject. It's great, but really some really really incredible stuff.
Yep. So with that's the end of the. Well, there were a bunch of other trailers. There was the Lower Decks trailer, which they're going to Deep Space Nine.
Yeah, there's a lot of speculation about that. They're like, okay, we're going to see some of the Deep Space Nine characters, some of the actors, and it has been confirmed that there's going to be some familiar faces.
Well, what's funny is they show them at Cisco's at one point.
Yeah.
But
yeah, that's right. Yeah, because that was the thing. The second season ended with the captain being arrested.
Lower Decks comes out the end of next month. CD, we're about a month away. Right. I think it's August 25th is when it launches.
Right. But yeah, the second season ended with the captain being arrested, and so that looks like the third season is going to open with basically the crew on some kind of leave while the ship is being retrofitted, and they go to Cisco's in it looks like New Orleans, I think is where that restaurant is.
Yeah,
and I love the fact that that's one of my favorite things about Lower Decks is all the references that they constantly are referencing from previous episodes.
Yeah, well, and what's funny is you see them go to Deep Space Nine, and they're like, I can't believe we're going to Deep Space Nine, blah blah blah, and they're standing there, and he's like, well, we're just circle, act like you're fascinated with the spires or something, and they do it, and then they go and they play the Deep Space Nine music, and it's the fucking opening of Deep Space Nine. that they actually do.
It's animated.
Yeah, just
they even show the wormhole opening.
Yeah, it's the actual opening. Because even Renee, we watched the trailer together, and Renee, who is watching Deep Space Nine right now, she's like, "That's the fucking opening."
Right. Exactly.
So and they keep circling. But there's that. There's also, they're saying that there's going to be a crossover between Lower Decks and Strange New Worlds.
Correct. They're
not
saying
this season, but the following season. Yeah.
Right. The season 2 of Strange New Worlds will see a crossover. Now, how they're going to do that, it's only who gods only know. But I'm sure it's going to be some sort of time travel thing, because the crew of the Cerritos takes place in the Next Generation era.
Yep.
Post. It's after the Enterprise was destroyed, and Picard is an admiral, and I believe
Riker's the captain of the Titan.
And stuff like that. So it definitely takes place a bit later, into the next gen universe,
but before Picard.
But before Picard, correct. So speaking of Picard, we got big teases for the season 3 of Picard. They showed the looks of all of the actors, all of the main, well, not all of them, but all of the original returning characters, returning crew. We do have Rafi and 7 of 9 have returned to be in the new season, and probably on the new crew. And then it does show that 7 of 9 has joined Star Trek or Starfleet, and has officially.
I still haven't watched any of Picard season 2 yet.
Oh man, okay. Well, I'm not going to say too much more than, because there are in that case, because there are, that's some spoilery type of stuff. But Rafi and 7 of 9 will be back, and then it does show all of the other characters. It shows Worf, Riker's.
Worf looks amazing.
He looks incredible. I mean, everybody's going, "Whoa, Silver Fox Worf." Oh my goodness. I think it's more like Silver Tard Worf, actually. But yeah, he looks incredible. Geordi looks really cool.
Yep.
The only one from the well, I guess the only survivor of the original series and the original cast that then is no longer with them is Data. He is he will be Brent Spiner will be appearing on the show, but as other members of the Soong family, basically, probably Alden or whatever, his Data's brother, kind of his father's real son. So yeah, it says with confirmation that Brent Spiner is going to play a quote unquote old new character. It also takes inspiration from Wrath of Khan, have a singular female villain. It says Picard's final season is like a Next Generation movie, is what they're saying. But yeah, Beverly, Worf, everybody is back on there, and they all look pretty great. I watched the little teaser, which doesn't really show much, and I just got super excited because as everybody knows, I am a big Trekkie nerd.
So a few of the other things that came up, we got another trailer for Sandman, which I haven't watched. That starts in a week. We got the trailer for Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur, which I hadn't even heard of. I haven't watched that. We got a trailer for Gotham Knights. It's the Batgirl trailer.
That was the for the new video game.
Yep.
Featuring Batman's lieutenants after he passes away.
It's the Bat Family.
It's the Bat Family, and it's featuring Jason Todd, Tim Drake, Dick Grayson, and Barbara Gordon.
Yep.
I believe it's Tim Drake. I don't think it's Damian. I think it's Tim Drake.
Yeah, it is.
And they all I guess you play each character at different points in the game. I don't think it's
at certain points you can pick which character you want to play as well.
Right, correct. And they all have very different fighting styles. They all have very different like special abilities that are all technologically based and stuff like that. Apparently Tim Drake has like some sort of short range teleportation device. Jason Todd, who's the Red Hood, he has all these like gun tricks and stuff because he has these like stun guns, or not a stun gun, but a gun that a non-lethal gun apparently, and or two of them. You got Nightwing, who's also very acrobatic in his fighting style, and he uses the screama sticks. And I think Tim Drake also uses a bow staff. And then of course we have Batgirl, who probably is the most like Batman in her fighting abilities and styles, because she has the glider cape and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, and Belmont's decided to bark because Renee's got Trevor outside. We also got the I Am Groot trailer.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't watched. We got a release date for X-Men 97. That is going to be in the fall of 2023. We got Spider-Man Freshman Year release date. That's going to be in 2024. That's, by release date, we mean at least when it's going to come out. What If Season 2 will be back in early 2023.
And they've already stated they've started working on Season 3.
Oh, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Well, and we're also, coming from What If, we're getting Marvel Zombies as well.
Correct.
Which is going to be in 2024.
I gotta admit, I have very little interest in that.
I kind of do too. I'm really not overly crazy about that.
I kind of got burned out on the whole Marvel Zombie thing back when it was still a comic book. Just like people would kind of bug shit about it. And
we also got a trailer for a remake of a movie that I really am like, why? And that's Teen Wolf.
I think, Sarah Michelle Gellar showed up, and she's actually, is it a remake of the movie or is it stuff for the TV?
It's loosely based on the 1980s Michael J. Fox film.
Okay.
And now they're adding shadow ninjas and more supernatural action.
Okay. Well, I know that there's been the Teen Wolf like TV show. And I heard that they're doing some kind of spin-off of that show, and Sarah Michelle Gellar is involved. It says,
when the moon is full, Teen Wolf transforms from a movie and then to a TV show and then a movie again. And it's Paramount Plus showed off the new trailer for the movie, reuniting the cast of the 2011 TV show. And they're doing it as a movie.
See, I always appreciate. So it sounds like it's a movie based on the 2011 TV show and not so much the original movie.
We are also getting a new Disney Plus series, National Treasure: Edge of History.
Correct.
No Nicolas Cage.
No.
But we do get Harvey Keitel and Justin Bartha, they say.
Correct. So it does take place, it is kind of takes place in that kind of little that little universe of theirs. Yep.
So there's the new Predator movie, Prey. Mike Judge's Beavis and Butthead. And then the Power Rangers, they also announced a $132 Dragon Zord.
Okay.
So
that's just the toy or something?
Yeah, the toy. It's like a big Dragon Zord action figure thing.
All right. I didn't really go into find out a lot about the toys. I did see that they did premiere the new Grog statue from Showcase or show. I think it's Showcase. The new Grog statue. It stands 13 and a half inches tall from Critical Role.
It'll be like $8,000.
No, it's $200. It's pretty. It's still. I mean, pricey, sure.
But those are all pretty pricey.
Yeah, there's some really amazing statues from them.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, we're already at almost an hour and a half, and now we're going to get into the announcements.
Okay.
From MCU.
Well, the big announcements, some of the biggest ones came from the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Right. So I've got the dates here for Phase 5. And that is Ant-Man and Wasp Quantumania is February 17th, 2023. Correct. Secret Invasion will be in 2023.
Right.
Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is May 6th, 2023.
Yeah, they also said, now there were no they didn't premiere the trailer, but they did show some footage from the film, apparently. And I think they had said that basically Gunn was like, yeah, it's just not finished yet. The special effects weren't finished yet, and he didn't want to show it off at them.
Yeah. Echo will be in the summer of 2023, and that's where we'll see Charlie Cox as Daredevil again, and Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin.
Correct.
Both of them will be back for that. Also, summer of 2023, we get Loki season 2. Then July 28th, 2023, we get the Marvels.
Mm-hmm.
And this was a huge one. We finally have a date for Blade.
Right.
And that's November 3rd, 2023.
Yep. Mahershala Ali playing the titular character.
We get Ironheart in fall of 2023.
Yep. That's going to be, and interestingly enough, that's coming out of Wakanda Forever. So we're not going to see, from what I understand, the character is going to be introduced of Riri Williams, going to be introduced in Wakanda Forever, and then we'll see her again in a year later in Ironheart.
Okay. And then winter of 23-24, we get Agatha, Coven of Chaos. Where we get Agatha Harkness back. And then this is another huge one that you already mentioned. Spring of 2024, we get Daredevil Born Again.
Correct.
Which will be a Disney Plus series.
Featuring Charlie Cox.
Featuring Charlie Cox as Daredevil.
And some of the other characters, too. It's also Vincent D'Onofrio coming back as the Kingpin. They've stated a bunch of the returning characters. Now, they're still being real tight-lipped about the other Netflix characters, the other Netflix superheroes. But there is rumors that Jessica Jones could even show up on She-Hulk, too.
Mm-hmm.
So we shall see. Kristen Ritter as She-Hulk.
And then May 3rd, 2024, we get Captain America New World Order.
Mm-hmm. Starring Anthony Mackie as Sam Wilson in his role as Captain America.
And then July 26, 2024 is Thunderbolts.
Yeah, it was another one that was recently, that was a little bit of a surprise. Now, a lot of people thought that they were building towards either a Thunderbolts or Dark Avengers movie. And, but then when they said Thunderbolts, okay, that sounds like it's going to be a thing. Basically, my guess is they're going to be taking all of these darker versions of the superheroes, or alternate versions of the superheroes, and recruiting them one way or the other.
Yeah.
Like the U.S. agent, like Yelena Belova, or Belova.
Basically,
Yelena.
Everyone that Val is
was been recruiting. Everybody that Valerie's been recruiting. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe we see the Abomination in there as their darker version of Hulk.
All right, Electric Ronin just chimed in. Hey, Electric Ronin, thanks for coming in. Thanks for following us too. You're our latest follower.
Hey, yeah.
I had not heard that Daredevil was going to be 18 episodes.
That's right. I heard that too. They're going to be 18 episodes, man. That's the longest one we've seen so far.
That's incredible.
Right. You're also going to know that they're not going to be half-an-hour episodes. These are going to be 45-minute plus episodes. So this is going to be a big deal. They're not fucking around, man.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that. We also got a couple of other announcements, and I didn't watch the crowd reaction. I saw the video was out there for this, but they announced not just one, but 2 Avengers movies.
Correct.
The first one, Avengers, the Kang Dynasty, which we knew was coming.
Right. They're calling phase 6, or I think the
this is phase
title,
5.
This is still phase 5.
Yeah, this is all phase 5.
They said either phase 5. I can't remember to check my notes, but either phase 5 or phase 6 is also being called the multiverse saga.
Well, there's a whole nother thing that is the multiverse saga. That's at the end that's after Thunderbolts.
Oh, okay. So then phase 6, most probably.
No, I think that's what's going to end this. This whole entire thing is the multiverse saga, and I think they're going to actually have something that is that at the end, because there's an announcement about that too. The whole thing that is phases 4, 5, and 6 is already being referred to as the multiverse saga.
Oh, okay. All right. Fair enough.
So yeah, so we're getting the Kang Dynasty as the next Avengers movie. So that'll be Avengers 4 or 5, depending on if you count Infinity War and Endgame as 2 different movies. And then the one after that, November 7th, 2025, Avengers Secret Wars.
Exactly. Now, there's a great deal of speculation on Secret War. How are they going to do it? What are they going to do? Mm-hmm. Is it going to be reminiscent of the original Secret War, which I really doubt, because the original Secret Wars comic, was a maxi series, the first of its kind.
Yep.
That was basically just solicited by the toy companies to sell toys. It was made specifically like, let's make a story that we can use to sell action figures. And they did. But the thing is,
good guys versus bad guys.
Right.
Just
the thing is
bang, 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 bang.
Ultimately, though, it still had long-reaching and major implications and major story applications.
It's where we actually got Venom.
And it's where we came, right? It's where Venom came from originally. Ben Grimm left the Fantastic Four, and She-Hulk became a part of the FF for a while. It was the first time any member of the FF had left for any substantial amount of time. It strengthened the relationships between certain superhero groups. It changed the dynamic of a lot of different things. It created several characters too. The characters of Titania, Volcana, and the second Spider-Woman came out of that storyline. So it was a big deal. So are they going to do that, or are they going to do the second? Because there was a sequel to that, or Secret Wars 2, and it's kind of kept in the same thing. But then there was another Secret Wars story that took place like back in 2005 or something like that, I think, and it was more of a spy story where Nick Fury recruited a bunch of the heroes to go to do a secret kind of mission into a sovereign nation. And he was like, well, we can't send the Avengers, but I'm going to send we're going to go undercover. And he gave them all like stealth uniforms, and it was actually a pretty cool story. And the art was fucking badass, but it wasn't as well received. And then there was the most recent Secret War, which was a whole multiversal kind of thing. And
that's most likely what we're going to get.
That's most likely what we're going to see. But that also featured Dr. Doom as the major like impetus behind it.
Well, and that's the thing. So one of the other announcements was Phase 6 is when we will get Fantastic Four.
Correct. They actually have,
and if they're going to bring in Fantastic Four, they have to bring in Doom.
Right. Fantastic Four is slated for November 8th of 2024.
Which is a year before Avengers Secret Wars.
Correct. Yes, you're absolutely right. Avengers Kang Dynasty is May 2nd of 25, with Avengers Secret Wars of November 7th of 25. That's incredible to me, man, that they're planned this far out, and that they're making all of these plans, you know. It blows me away to really think about it. Now, we also had some other kind of things that got squozen in there as well. I've got one here that's just like.
But that also means two Avengers movies in 1 year. Again.
Correct. Yeah. And then, in all honesty, too, if you really consider it, Thunderbolts is really going to be an Avengers movie on some level. It's going to be an MCU movie, which is probably going to feature some of the Avengers.
Well, I have a feeling that New World Order is going to lead right into Thunderbolts, because I think that's what we're going to see that whole thing build up into, because it's going to be U.S. Agent, and it's going to be people that Sam's going to have to deal with.
Yeah, it's going to be U.S. Agent and the new Black Widow, and I'll bet you if Hercules isn't part of the Thunderbolts, I'll be surprised. You know, they're going to be. I think they're going to lean into like they're all, instead of them being all, you know, like villains pretending to be heroes or criminals, you know, that are doing the whole Suicide Squad version for Marvel's version of Suicide Squad. They're going to be just darker versions of these heroes that are going to work for the government.
Looking at all this stuff, so here's one. Where do you think they're bringing Black Knight in?
Blade.
You think they're going to bring him in Blade?
Yeah, because when he showed up in the post-credit scene, when Dane Whitman opens up the box in the post-credit scene for the Eternals, and there's the sword, and then he goes to like touch it, and then you hear this voice saying,
"You're right."
You know, I don't know if we want to do that. And it was Blade.
That's right.
So I think we're going to see the Black Knight in Blade.
Okay.
And then he'll end up being in some kind of movie like that. I think what Thunderbolts is going to be the new version of the Avengers, which is probably going to be War Machine and Sam Wilson and maybe Valkyrie.
I don't think they're going to be in. I think they're going to be in the Avengers. I don't think they're going to be in the Thunderbolts.
No, that's what I mean. They're going to be in the Avengers, and then the Thunderbolt. They're going to go up against U.S. Agent and
yes,
the new Black Widow and the Abomination, and we're going to see She-Hulk is going to be on that side, the good guy side,
mm-hmm.
and there's going to be a conflict that they're going to probably. And I know this sounds like a cliche. There's going to be a conflict. They're all going to be like on opposite sides, and then there's going to be some sort of thing that's going to unite them.
Yep.
And they're not going to end up friends, but they'll end up fighting to defeat this this major villain or whatever it is. It could be Kang. We don't know.
I was gonna say they could probably bring Kang in at that point if it's going to be the combo of the two of them.
Kang is going to be showing up a lot, from what I understand. He is going to be the overreaching villain for the next 3 years. Yeah, exactly. He's a major part of this. He's going to be introduced in Quantumania, but he is going to be a big part.
Well, he was already introduced.
Well, yes,
he got introduced in Loki.
In Loki, and in Loki, essentially that was Immortus, and then of course he was teased, but you're actually going to see the true Kang in Quantumania. So we did talk about, you definitely, you dropped a lot of bombs here. There was a couple other things here that were shown as like superhero films and stuff that are going to be showing up. So there's something called Secret Headquarters coming out on August 5th. I think that's going to be on the Peacock or Paramount, one of the two. Something called Samaritan in August of 22. I think that is a superhero movie that Stallone is doing. We have Black Adam, of course, October 21st. You already went through those. Black Panther, Shazam. Kraven the Hunter, January 13th of 23. Now, this is a Marvel character, but it's part of Sony's. It's part of the Spider-Man mythos. So Sony has the rights to that. We have Ant-Man and the Wasp, of course. And then we also have Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, March 17th of 23. So that's... I don't think, it sounds to me they didn't make a big deal out of this one.
That one didn't make the list that I found.
No, not at CDCC, but it was added to the list here when kind of slipped into the list here. We also have Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. We have Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 in May of 23. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, June 2nd. This is the new animated film that's the sequel of the previous Spider-Man animated film. We also have The Flash on June 23rd. And about a month later is when The Marvels comes out. We also have Blue Beetle, August 18th of 23rd. And then Madam Web, October 6th, which is another Sony Spider-Man movie that's going in the Spider-Verse alongside with, Carnage and Venom and the Venom movies and stuff like that. Of course, then we get Blade and Morbius. Blade.
Which I still haven't seen.
Oh, wait, actually... Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, and then there's Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse, March 29th of 24. So there's going to be 2 sequels to the Spider-Man animated film. And then the rest were ones that you had mentioned. Then we also have some movies that are still TBA. Amazon's The Wonder Woman spinoff, Batgirl, which is still in production. And we've seen stuff about it with Brendan Fraser is playing the villain, or one of the villains in it. We have Deadpool 3, which is in production. We have Gotham City Sirens, The Green Lantern Corps, which I believe is a TV show, Our Man, Jackpot, Silk, Spider-Woman. Jackpot, Silk, and Spider-Woman are all within the Spider-Verse, so that's all Sony. We have Static Shock. We have apparently they are teasing a remake of the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Yikes.
That doesn't need to be remade. That movie was so good.
It's the movie that Sean Connery retired on.
Yes. I don't want to see that one remade. That one stands alone.
Honestly, I liked it. I mean,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I enjoyed that one. I don't think it needs to be remade.
It was very much a movie that was very different from the comic book resources. Alan Moore divested himself completely of it. He was like, this thing stinks, and it was very different. But I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that was Sean Connery's last film. It was just kind of weird. We do have an untitled Superman movie. We do have an untitled Sony and Marvel movie, another one, an untitled Mutants movie, because they have been teasing that potentially the X-Men will not be called the X-Men, that the movie, there's been theory that the movie will be called The Mutants. When they finally introduce the X-Men, they'll be called The Mutants, not the X-Men. We also have, they're still teasing Wonder Woman 3 and Zatanna. So those are all still movies that are that are in pre-production or at least in some level of pre-production, and they haven't had any solid dates lined up for them yet.
Well, and there's a lot of other things we can talk about, theories that are out there for the MCU and stuff like that too. But we're at an hour and 45 now, so
so we should wrap these things up.
So much to talk about. Like we said last week, it was a quiet nerd week, the week before San Diego Comic-Con, because everyone saves up their shit.
Right.
And we didn't even talk about get into anything with video games or anything like that were announced. I mean, other than mentioning Gotham Knights.
There's a lot of things that we could be. I mean, like I said, I've got a thing here that details all of the stuff that was revealed at the Marvel thing, and there's a lot of different things like in Quantumania, it's Paul Rudd as Scott Lang, Evangeline Lilly as Hope, Michael Douglas again as Dr. Hank Pym, Michelle Pfeiffer as Janet Van Dyne, Catherine Newton joins the cast as Cassie Lang, Scott's daughter. Bill Murray was also revealed in footage shown to the crowd at Comic-Con, while MODOK also rears its ugly, ugly head. So Bill Murray is going to be in.
Did Patton Oswalt doing MODOK?
I don't know, and I hope not. I like Patton Oswalt, I really do, but his MODOK, show on Hulu was not.
I didn't care for that.
A lot of stuff about Secret Invasion. That they're talking about. Emilia Clarke was cast in an unknown role. There's the Secret Invasion is going to be a show. There's a show on Disney Plus, and it's going to be it's going to have a lot to do with Nick Fury. A little bit about Echo.
Speaking of shows and Disney Plus, there was another announcement that didn't come out of Comic-Con so much, but the Orville, all 3 seasons are moving to Disney Plus.
Moving to Disney Plus, Seth MacFarlane made that announcement just like this morning. I think it was, and so awesome. So everybody who hasn't seen it, hasn't gone to Hulu or Rizzler, is going to get another.
Which I watched the 3rd episode of that one now, and man, that show is so good.
It's so good.
I really hope that we are going to get more of that eventually.
Which one was number 3? Which one was that?
3 was the planet where all the different illusions, like it was supposed to be a barren planet, but then they saw all sorts of stuff, and then they get all sorts of technology and stuff, and then they get down there and it's only forest, and then
they find a high school, and then they find
and they tie it back to last season when they found that planet that only shows up for like 12 minutes, but they advance 700 years in that time.
Every time, right?
So they've gone 50,000 years in the future since the last time they met him.
Yeah, they've advanced themselves so far. I thought that was really brilliant. The latest episode I haven't watched. Why? Because it's 90 minutes long.
Holy shit.
The current episode 8, I think it is. Because there's 3, there's 8, 9, and 10. 8 came out last week. I haven't watched it because I haven't had a chance. I've been this whole week.
I saw Dolly Parton's on an episode.
She is. She's in the current. I guess she makes an appearance in the current episode.
She actually tweeted out a thing. It's her with one of the characters in makeup and stuff, and she says what a great time it was. And so Ronan just said that just binge watched the last 4 episodes of the Orville.
Yeah, it's so fucking good. I mean, I think it'd be a great tragedy of the art form if Seth MacFarlane decides to just kind of shutter it at this point, because it is so good. I hope that we at the very least get some made for TV movies, or maybe some short seasons.
Did you see the other thing that came out this weekend?
What?
That there's a bunch of chatter online, and someone actually created a petition.
Yes.
To get Alex Kirkman out at Star Trek, and bring Seth MacFarlane in as the runner of Star Trek.
See, I don't. As much as I think that would be cool, I think Alex Kurtzman's doing fine. I don't see why.
Yeah, I think his the big one that he's hit on right now is Strange New Worlds. I think Picard's good, but I mean that's just playing on next.
And Lower Decks is really good too.
Lower Decks is good, but I think Discovery is a big miss. I mean, Discovery. Okay, so Discovery, I think, is one of those shows that outside of the main character is fantastic, but the main character is so fucking unlikable that it makes me not want to watch the show.
Well, I disagree. I don't think she's so much that unlikable enough to not watch it. I will admit Michael's not my favorite character. But I prefer, Saru and Stamets.
I hate that they tied her into Spock.
Yeah,
I absolutely hate that. I also think that it was lazy fucking writing to just move them into the future. I don't think that this show ever should have been set where it was originally. I don't think they should have set it back there unless they planned on keeping it there.
Okay.
If they were going to do it in the future, the spore drive never should have existed at that time. If you want to do something like that, put it in the future where dilithium is no longer a thing, so they've now developed the spore drive and take the show from there.
So that was the other thing too. Like people were saying, like dilithium was something that came along later. They discovered warp drive before they discovered dilithium. Dilithium just made warp drive a lot easier, because I mean, Zefram Cochrane didn't use dilithium in his original warp drive engine. So like if dilithium, that was one of the big problems with the whole burn and the whole storyline with that is like, okay, what about all the other ways that you can achieve warp travel without dilithium? Now, granted, dilithium had become pretty much the way to do it, or one of the easiest or one of the most common ways of using dilithium or some form of dilithium. But I mean, the Romulans didn't use dilithium crystal matrices to power their warp engines. They used quantum singularities. They used tiny quantum singularities to power their warp engines. So why was it that so many of these, you'd think that all this advanced technology, all these races with this super advanced technology, even more so than normal Star Trek, that they couldn't come up with other ways to travel faster than the speed of light.
Like I said, I think Discovery has a lot of lazy writing.
I think that was the biggest problem for me. It's like I was okay with almost everything else. I was because like I said, I'm a big Star Trek fan, so I'm just happy that there's more Star Trek. But that one point that I was reading that article, I went, God damn it, they're right. Why? Why didn't they have these other? I mean, now they didn't. It wasn't that there wasn't.
I agree, CD.
There wasn't faster light travel. There still was, but it was a lot more limited. And on top of it, a lot of people were just scared to continue to do it, to go out there, because they didn't know what caused the burn. Mm-hmm. And what caused all the dilithium to destabilize. So a lot of it was just sheer fear of going back out there. But because billions of people died when the burn happened. So
anyway, enough about that. So there's a petition for that out there right now. My personal petition is to get
the Torture Tardigrade Drive.
The Torture Tardigrade Drive, yeah.
There is also a movement to save the Orville too. There's like a hashtag Save the Orville, or
I'm sure it's right up there with help Nathan Fillion buy Firefly. It's that thing of this is something that the creator doesn't want, or the person involved doesn't want. But along that same line, my big thing is let's get Kathleen Kennedy out of fucking Lucasfilms and get Filoni in there as the big runner.
Oh, one last thing too. People were talking about Armor Wars, which was another one of those.
That
Disney
one wasn't on
series.
The list.
It wasn't on the list. It was pretty much left out. But the Armor Wars writer addresses cancellation speculation after the Marvel SDCC no-show. Armor Wars isn't on the scrap heap, despite no mention of it at Comic-Con. Marvel announced several new movies and shows at Comic-Con, but there was one notable absence. Armor Wars, starring Don Cheadle's War Machine, wasn't included in either Phase 5 or Phase 6 slate by Kevin Feige during the Hall H presentation. Head writer Yasir Lester has eased fears that the Disney Plus series had been canceled by posting on Instagram, "I promise it is still coming out." Armor Wars is set to deal with War Machine facing what happens when Tony Stark's tech falls into the wrong hands. The character is set to appear in Secret Invasion, which has now been tied to a spring 23 release window on Disney Plus. One possible destination for the Rhodey spinoff could be D23. Marvel Studios is set to take the stage at Disney's convention September 10th. So they might have saved that. It's like, we got to have something for D23. And so we'll probably see a greater, some kind of, thing.
Okay. Well, we should wrap things up because we're approaching 2 hours again.
Guys, thanks for joining us tonight. Hey, thanks for joining us. One of our new readers, Electric Ronin, or viewers, Electric Ronin. Great to have you here. I'm glad that you jumped in. I'm glad you're enjoying the Orville, because that is something both Chris and I are extremely passionate about. Guys, be sure to check us out here normally Tuesday night at 8 o'clock here on Drinking Nerds. We did it tonight because we've got a conflict tomorrow. We're here every Tuesday night at 8. You can download and stream us on all the places you can find quality podcasting, guys. We are on the Google Play Store. We're on iTunes, Spotify, the Odyssey app. We're on all these other places, iHeartRadio, radio.com. You can also Chris puts the episodes up on YouTube a couple of days later.
Or a couple of weeks.
He's kind of busy with work and whatnot, but they do get up there eventually. We also have our D&D show every other Friday night, Tavern Nights. Be sure to check that out. And then a companion and that analyzation show most every other Monday. Sometimes we get kind of busy, and like last week we had to cancel.
Yeah, right now the plan is a week from tonight will be Tavern Talk, and then not this Friday, but next Friday will be Tavern Nights again.
Correct, because we just had a game on Friday.
Yep. But no Octavian in the next one, so
right, no Octavian, so he will be probably getting a new catchphrase. Sure, exactly.
And if you watch the show, you'll know why.
Exactly. Guys, be sure to tell all your friends about us and sign up. And hey, if you do want to subscribe to the channel, we do have a Discord channel that Chris and I try, and you can, if you want to ask us questions, or if you want to start a conversation with us in our private Discord channel, only for subscribers. Chris and I and some of the other, I believe at least Bob and Pete and Rich and almost everybody from the show.
Everybody from Tavern
Nights is on. So if you guys want to join up, and we've got more stuff in the works. We got guests coming pretty soon. We got a lot of announcements and things that we're going to be doing. Got plans, guys. So Thanks for joining in.
Yeah, and remember, you can follow us on most of the social medias. We're on Facebook, Nerds with Alcohol Show. We are on Twitter, at Drinking Nerds, Instagram, Drinking Nerds, although we haven't posted much lately. I should start posting more of the painting and stuff that I've started back up doing. Actually, watch on YouTube. I actually just recorded a video. I'm going to hopefully get it up in the next couple of days. I'm kind of editing it now. But I did an unboxing video of some Dwarven Forge that I ordered to see how it stacks up against the stuff that I've been printing. And I got to say, it's pretty cool.
Your initial reaction is
positive.
Yeah.
Watch the video. It's only about 15 minutes long. As I unbox the two different sets that I got and kind of put them together a little bit and talk about them.
But it's again, it's not up now. He's still
no, it is not up now. It'll be up in a couple of days. So yeah, look for it by the end of the week for sure. Like I said, I'm kind of playing around with editing it and seeing how I can make it a little bit better. So
right,
it's the first time I'm trying anything like this, and it's kind of a step outside my comfort zone type of thing.
If anything that is reliable about Nerds with Alcohol is that we are a constant work in progress.
Yes, exactly. So I think that's gonna about do it.
That should do it.
So I think on that note.
Until next time.
Slancha.
Slancha.
It was okay. All right. Have a good week, everybody.
Good night.